Hey kids, you're listening to the internet's wettest podcast about video games, consoles, and pancakes. The SML Podcast.
Prepare for the SML Podcast.
What's up, everybody? This is the SML Podcast. I am your host, Joe. Joining as usual, we've got Jacob, Bri, and Aki. How are you three doing?
Great.
Pretty good.
That's it? Just good?
Yep, just pretty good.
I said woo.
Did you?
I didn't hear you say woo, actually.
Nor did I.
We gotta get you a new headset again.
What the heck?
Because that one, it messes up when you, don't talk for a while.
You mess up when I don't talk.
I have a feeling that's probably a setting somewhere more than anything.
Could be. Or it could just be that it's got that, voice activated thing and it just takes a second to warm up.
I think it's one of those things. Anyway, we got company joining us today. Another interview going down. Mike Daw of Infinite State Games is back on the show. Mike, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. It's been a nuts year already so far, and I had a baby not so long, about a month ago as well. So
really?
I should have. Thanks. Yeah. So yeah, I should have been up anyway, but Mrs. Mike let me have a little nap before this. So but yeah, I'm doing good. But yeah, lots of late nights.
Lots of late, and this is another late night.
Yeah,
you're over there in the UK. How are things going over there?
What, in the country in general, or with me? Do you want me to get things going all right? Yeah. I mean, it's over in the UK. It's spring and it's very pretty. So we've got lots of daffodils up. We've got sun shining. Because we haven't had any sun for about 8 months now. So we'll get a couple of days of sun and then we'll be back to winter. So I'm just enjoying this brief splash of lovely weather.
Oh man, are they doing the thing over in the UK that they're doing in Canada and France, where you go to the store and you turn US products upside down so that no one buys them?
No,
you should. You should start that. We wouldn't be doing anything like that. I mean, I tend to avoid politics. We do get the odd. Slamming Elon Musk is still a national sport.
As it should be.
But no, we'll leave the politics to the politicians, I think.
That's a good idea. Let's stick to talking about video games. 9 years ago, you were on this show to talk about the game Don't Die, Mr. Robot. All this time later, you are back to talk about 3D Don't Die, Mr. Robot. For the people who don't know what this game is, give us the sales pitch. What is it?
It's an arcade game. I don't know if people like arcade games still, but we do. Charlie and I, Infinite State Games, are people that have played arcade games for 30 odd years. All of them. Every arcade game, and I think 3D Don't Die Mr. Robot is if you took two people that have played every arcade game ever made and wanted to write a love letter to arcade games, if that was a game, that's what 3D Don't Die Mr. Robot is. It's flashing music, it's fast gameplay, it's stupid, and it's very colourful. That's the pitch. That's the quick elevator pitch. It's an arcade game that's really colourful and fun.
I've been putting some time into it. I'm having a blast with it. I remember one of the big things I wanted all those years ago was to see the game on Xbox, and this one is on Xbox. So first off, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. It's gone from being a ropey iPhone game that we managed to get on the Vita somehow to actually an all formats release. Just took us 10 years to make that happen. There were some other games along the way, but we've looped back to the original concept and polished a few things out that we sat there thinking over the last 10 years, God, I wish we'd done that. Oh, I wish we did that. And now we've done it.
Now you have done it. What are the big additions and changes that you wanted to give the game switching to 3D?
I wouldn't. We just wanted to make a sequel. To be honest, it's not really a 3D game. Like, you know, you can kind of like you can play it from a top-down view, so it might as well be 2D. I mean, like if you're being completely honest, the only 3D thing about it are there are walls that the enemies bounce off. But the stuff that we wanted to add compared to the original was a greater amount of variety, both visual and gameplay for each of the remix levels. So now the variety is much improved. Like, so every level's a different shape. Every level's probably got a different tune. The soundtrack's pretty crazy. There's a lot of tunes in there. And also we wanted to make it, I wouldn't say easier, but we wanted to make it less punishing. So most people should be able to get like a decent pat on the back and a nice feeling from playing it for a short amount of time now. But, you know, we'll give you a bronze or a silver medal for doing all right, rather than not give you anything unless you're superhuman. So yeah, it's a little bit more accessible in that regard. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Did the original game have different modes like this one does? Like there's the lime attack and the cool chill mode or whatever?
Yeah, it had chill out mode. It had it had time attack mode. I mean, we're calling it lime attack because we made a typo during development and it stuck. Yeah, it had all of those. So chill out mode was originally just supposed to be a cruel joke. The point of it is it's not relaxing in the slightest.
Of course.
And we had all of those, but now we've kind of like I said, taken all those. We should have done this and we should have done that, and just tweaked it a little bit better now. So yeah, all the modes of the original with a little bit more seasoned development wisdom.
What kind of wisdom have you picked up over the years?
That's a really good question. So when I made Don't Die Mr. Robot, I had worked in games before, but I jumped out of it because it had got a bit crazy. I'd done a couple of projects that had me kind of like up from 8 a.m. till like 10 o'clock at night, 7 days a week. And so when I did Don't Die Mr. Robot, I was working in a warehouse. We're working in a trade counter in a hardware store, trying to get that whole spirit experience out of me. And since then, like, I did end up jumping back into games. And like, I've sat there for the last 10 years, being in the rooms with so many talented designers, so many talented creative directors, just listening to them and learning. And you pick up so many little nuggets of wisdom listening to people who do this, you know, every day for a living. Infinite State Games, by the way, we don't have any offices. We don't work in the daytime. It's literally our hobby. I'm a producer in the daytime now, and Charlie works for another company. We can't say the names of the company, can't say what we're working on. But yeah,
is it games related?
It's games. Yeah, it's games related. Yeah, the title I'm currently working on at the minute, I think most of you would have probably played, but no, we can't give away the day job stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, the day job, I'm a producer, so I do a lot of asking very, very talented people if it's done yet. But it means that they get to be in the rooms where these people are talking, so we get to listen to a lot of that stuff. You know, also, do absorb everything game design philosophy related I hear. Just something I heard the other day, but all these little nuggets stuck in my head. And something I heard the other day, for instance, a good game can be elevated to a great game if it sucks a little bit in an interesting way. And little things like that you pick up, that you just hear in meetings, and that you write down, and then one day you kind of try and put it in your own game. And
as soon as you said that, I immediately thought of Deadly Premonition.
Yeah, right. Perfect example. Right. That did suck. Yeah. I hadn't thought about that for 9 years. Christ.
So a game has to suck in an interesting way, just a little bit. Would you say that there's anything in your game that sucks just a little bit, but makes it better?
The art. So we don't have an artist. It's just me trying to learn Blender in spare time. And I would say when you got kind of like what's the word, an auto vision, where it's just like the ideas of one person or a couple of people that's undiluted with by anyone else, or shareholders, or like the input of like a bunch of people, then you get something quite unique. We make the music, we do every single level of the game. We put everything together exactly how we think it should be, and when you get people trying their best to do that don't necessarily have formal training in any of those disciplines, you basically get outsider art, don't you? You get like I don't want to compare us to Wesley Willis and Daniel Johnston, but the outsider artist that just has to create and put out there without necessarily formal training, then I would say that there is a slight vibe of suckage around the game, but certainly not in the fun department or in the overall cohesive vision of the whole thing. But yeah, I would say, I hope that 3D Don't Die Mr. Robot is greater than the sum of its parts, and the reviews so far are certainly suggesting that.
What's the early word been so far?
Well, when it came out on Steam late last year in October, it got a couple of big fat 9 out of 10s. But I will say they were from people that really, really like arcade games. So, not my words.
Target audience.
The words of the target audience.
What kind of feedback have you gotten since the game launched? Well,
I mean, so the people that have got in touch with us for feedback are long-time fans that picked up the original, be it on iPhone or Nintendo. It came out on Nintendo Switch in the end, or PS Vita, which was the original platform. And the feedback have been from people who have known about it for 9 years and were never expecting the sequel to come, and have suddenly got a sequel that. Most of the feedback has been that they're absolutely over the moon with it. I mean, if you really enjoyed the original, you will definitely get a kick out of this. It's, like I said, we've addressed the original issues, but added a lot more. The feedback has been entirely positive.
So for those of us like myself who never played the original, what were those issues that that they felt was in the first one?
It was brutally hard. It was ugly, and that was pretty much it, man. So the original, people really liked the music, but there wasn't enough of it. People really liked the gameplay, but all the arenas were the same size. And
I'm not gonna lie, that arena music, that shit slaps as soon as you get the 3, 2, 1, and it's just
cheers, man.
I love that so much.
That's the arcade mode music, is it? Yeah. Thank you.
That's pretty much. I mean, I've dabbled in the other areas, but the arcade mode's the one I play the most.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, that's a really fun high score chasing challenge, isn't it? Because already, I mean, it's been out a day. My kind of top score I've ever got after playing this, making it for a few years, somebody's pretty much beat it now after one day in arcade modes. But yeah, arcade mode is the forever mode. It's one of the the ones you can kind of keep going back to after you've finished all the levels.
Aki, I thought you were number 1 in the world for a while.
I may have been for a little bit.
Yeah, last
5 minutes.
I think
is this on Xbox?
Yeah, on Xbox.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I'm not ruining that leaderboard, but I am ruining the Sony leaderboard and the Nintendo one currently.
But I was going to say,
ruin it, because a lot of the developers say, "No, don't go on your game and get a ridiculous high score. That's really unfair." But I say, "Fuck it, fuck it."
last night, I know I was number 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of score? Can you remember? Like,
it was 6 digits at least. It had. I think I'm at 300,000. I think.
Okay. Right. Yeah, that would get you number 4 in the Sony Global.
Oh, because I was gonna say I was number 4, and I got bumped down a couple.
Okay. Okay.
Get good, scrub.
Yeah. I know.
I'm like number 41. I'm terrible on the list.
I don't even know where I am.
All that mattered to me was that I was beating Joe. That was all that mattered.
Yeah, see, I only played them for the achievements that were in the arcade mode.
Aki's the achievement hunter. Bri's an achievement hunter.
Yeah.
Right.
We love our achievements on this show.
I'm worried. I am now worried I added too many zeros to our scores. I don't remember what the hell it was. I just know I'm 6th in arcade.
It would be 4 digits. Probably.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
If it begins with a 3, you're probably about you're doing very good. Very good.
So, all right. So yeah. So
assuming it's not 3. It's only like 13.
No,
but yeah,
no.
Yeah.
On Xbox, we're all terrible. The highest score is 6. But
6,000 is a great score. If anyone gets that, I'd be surprised. I don't think I've ever got.
Is there a way to check the whole leaderboard in the game?
You mean like
or just what it shows you on the title screen?
So if you go into options, which is probably one of the best places to put this, there is a leaderboard. That's where you can have a look at all the leaderboards and shows you leaderboards for total time. Total coin collected, lime attack, chill out mode, arcade mode. But yeah, the number of coins collected is an interesting one because that's where you can see who's got a little bit too obsessed with it.
Jacob's got 641.
641
in arcade.
I thought it was like
641.
Like 3,000 something. I wonder if
I'm looking at arcade.
In arcade, I'm number 2, and I only have 2,000.
Okay, 3,000. Yeah. That's more like a good score for top. Like, what's the top score currently on Xbox?
3,109.
Oh my god.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, it sounds like you've got the main tip for arcade mode, which is it's the same as the original game. Let the fruit build up. Get as many fruit on screen before you do that initial big.
Yeah. I was trying.
You're second. Wow.
Yeah, I was trying to get the achievement for doing like 20 or whatever it is, all in one thing. That's the only reason why I have a score that high.
Right, yeah, that's the trick. That's the trick.
I watched some videos of the original Don't Die, Mr. Robot, and it was like a world record run or something for like 1.6 million points or something like that. It was absolutely chaos to watch.
I haven't seen that. I'll have to have a look for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never got that high. I mean, that's like 4 times higher than anything I got in the original. Crikey. Yeah, some people liked it.
Yeah, apparently.
Jinx.
Yeah, I've been trying to work on the lime attack.
Arcade world record. Yeah, they go for 3 minutes 43 seconds.
Oh man, yeah.
Or at least that's how long. That's at least how long the video is.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice.
Okay, yeah. I see what they were saying about the art.
I did my best, mate. Give us a break, son. Yeah, I had a go.
I'm joking. It has a very
it's all right. No, I'm more than happy to be realistic about stuff.
No, it has a very Newgrounds quality to it, which honestly I do miss. That some indie games do are replicating it, but it was like. I don't know. You just had.
I think if you grew up in Europe, you probably played a lot of Amiga games, as opposed to Super Nintendo or that kind of thing. And I don't know if you've ever seen European Amiga games, but they have a vibe. they have a vibe. I would say that vibe is coder art. But that got kind of like really normalized to us, that particular art style. So like it is the original Don't Die Mr. Robot is very reminiscent of an Amiga game. If I don't know if any of you folks ever played an Amiga, Commodore Amiga.
I did use an Amiga for editing. Actually, I used a Toaster Flyer, which is an Amiga.
Wow! No way. Okay.
Yeah, I used to be a video editor, and yeah.
Wow! Yeah. Oh, I haven't heard the whole video toaster thing for a while. That's great. Did they not do like some sci-fi show with an Amiga? Was it Babylon 5 or something? But
oh, geez, I don't know.
Anyway, yeah, Amiga. I think basically the art of the original Don't Die Mr. Robot looks like that because we grew up with Amigas, and then I suddenly had to do the art for a game.
Makes sense. Oh, so tell us about the soundtrack in this one.
Yeah. So the soundtrack we've been kind of making on and off for a number of years. It's a lot of it is done with. A few years ago, do you know what? I think this will make a lot of you sad, but it makes me very happy. I sold a significant proportion of my games collection in order to get synthesizers. Not expensive ones, but like little budget level entry synths from Korg, like Volca stuff and some acid house style squelchy things. Like I was just looking at all those games on the shelf, all those PS2 games, all the GameCube and Wii stuff, and just thought, I don't really need all this shelf space taken up with games I'm never going to play again. I've got the memories of playing these games. Let's get rid of them, and then let's have a hobby that's a little bit more creative, productive in my creativity. Like I've always liked making music on the side, and so the soundtrack is basically a result of me making bad acid house in my bedroom for the last 10 years, recording it, sticking it in a game and inflicting it on other people.
No, I think it's pretty good. It's on Bandcamp. If people are interested, you could check it out at infinitestategames.bandcamp.com. It is £3 I don't know what the hell that is in American.
Probably like $4. Let's not do any politics. I was about to do it, but yeah, it's about $4.50. It's on. It's having a bit of a sale because of the launch week. I'll probably bung it back up. Actually, no. Realistically, I will forget to increase the price back up. But yeah. We want the price down for launch week in the hope that people, play the game and go, actually, why are these tunes stuck in my head? I better buy the album.
I have a favorite song, actually, and it's one that I don't know that everyone will actually experience. It's the pause song.
Yeah, thank you. I've always wanted to make a pause tune that people talk about ever since I pressed pause on GoldenEye. I thought, man, this is a genre in and of itself. The pause tune.
Yeah.
Battletoads pause music is legendary.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can still hear that to this day. Yeah, so simple but so great. Yeah, that was a triumph of pause music, actually. But yeah, thank you. I was
surprised there was even a pause button, and I often pause games to take notes when I think of things or questions to ask for an interview or something. And and it was just like, and it's so like uplifting. Like, take some deep breaths and focus your mind and believe in yourself because you're doing great. And I'm just
I wanted to give the players some positive affirmations while they put. Because sometimes the game can get a bit much, especially if you're going for platinum. And if you pause it, I think I just wanted to kind of like come in the spirit form and pat somebody on the shoulder and go, you're doing great. You keep it up. It's just a game.
Well, thank you. It worked.
Yay.
Well, I will say that if you leave the price low, I took advantage of it already and bought the soundtrack. So,
good man. Thank you very much. Well,
you got $5 out of me, so enjoy it. Don't spend it everywhere. Don't spend it too quick. Invest it. Think of the future. That $5 will.
I was going to say, deposit that immediately before the American dollar falls in.
It's going to be worth 4 cents in about a month.
But yeah, I do, like, joking aside, and sometimes I can be a bit too self-deprecating. I'm very proud of the soundtrack. It's quite varied. It's pretty catchy. And Mrs. Mike, who played the game throughout development on the Steam Deck whilst pregnant, has had that soundtrack blasting into her belly for the last 9 months. So poor kid has been weaned on bad acid house for night.
Baby's going to come out with glow sticks.
Yeah, gurning. And asking everyone if they're having a great night.
Oh, man. So what are you playing these days? When you're not working on games, what are you enjoying yourself?
Well, let's just take it as read. Charlie and I have always got a game of either Dark Souls 2, or Demon Souls going on that we use as our boardroom. Like whenever we have a board meeting, we live quite far apart, and we do tend to do that in Dark Souls. Currently, Demon Souls remake on PS5. This is our second playthrough together. And it's boring talking about Souls games on a podcast. I've heard a million people talk about those. So let me tell you what I am. I tend to go back to... There's a guy called Mickey Albert. He's been a programmer since this kind of Streets of Rage era. He's got a company called Mindware in Japan. And he makes these games which are absolutely incredible. They're normally kind of like reinterpretations of very old Japanese games that were like more popular in the Japanese crowd, like Hey Ankyo Alien. Currently, I'm playing. This is a long way round to finally say I'm playing a game called Space Mouse 2.
I have not heard of that.
Me either.
Mouse 2.
I think you should all pretty much drop everything and go and have a look at the oeuvre, the output of a guy called Mickey Albert of Mindware. I'm also playing a game of his called Denshi Life 2, which it could only be described as a cross between Conway's Game of Life and Pokemon Snap, where you kind of like use wind and the warping of the genetic nature of the creatures in the world to create these blobs, which you then take a photograph of, and it's very, very difficult to explain, but absolutely unique. And all of his stuff is he's kind of like it's a shining beacon of purity and arcade game design. He really does just do these tight, well-honed, short-form experiences designed for replayability, which for me is like the peak crux of what makes an amazing arcade game. It's a short-form experience designed for replayability, honed to perfection. He's had the guy that's done the art from Pac-Man do his little sprites. He gets people that have done arcade game music for Namco back in the day to do his music, and
wow.
Yeah, he's a little hidden gem that I encourage you folk and all your listeners to go and seek out immediately if you like arcade stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Space Mouse one. This one looks pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's
I
almost
feel like I need to see it in action to really understand what the hell's happening.
I really want to play this Hey Ankyo Alien.
Oh, right. Yeah, Hey Ankyo. I'm probably butchering the pronunciation. Yeah, I don't know if any of you have heard of the concept of Hey Ankyo Alien before, but you're a policeman in the Heian period of Japan, and aliens have invaded, and the only way to defeat them is by digging a hole that they fall into and then burying them.
All right.
I remember playing this on Game Boy.
Right, yeah, they did release a version on Game Boy. That was by... there was a record label that dabbled in Game Boy releases, and they did that weird NES game Zombie Nation. Now, what are they called now? It begins with M. Anyway, yes, the Game Boy version is good. But it's been a while. It's been around for a while. I think the concept was from 1979 or something.
Yeah,
like me.
That's what Steam says.
Right.
Wild.
That's cool that they brought that game back of all games. That is, it's not one I ever expected to see back, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, very, very influential game in Japan. Nobody else has heard of it. And probably because it's quite unpronounceable and an awkward name. Which brings us back to 3D Rundown Mr. Robot. But yeah, that's pretty much what I'm playing in a minute. Also, big shout out to Donut Dodo, which I've also been enjoying greatly.
I think we covered that one. I think our friend Chris covered that one. Donut Dodo.
Yeah, that was really good.
But yeah, we covered that one. I remember.
Yeah, it's a cracker. That's a really good one. I mean, like, so over in the UK, we all grew up playing a game called Chucky Egg on the BBC Micro, and that probably sounded like the most British thing ever to you folk, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
I was playing a game called Chucky Egg. Yeah, and I've got a Mr. FPGA as well, so I'm playing a lot. Currently playing a lot of PS1 helicopter games, if that's a hint at the next game that we're going to be making.
Shoplifter?
Imagine all those helicopter games combined, but with a lot of cannon fodder as well. That's the next thing we're working on.
That sounds beautiful.
How far in development is that one so far?
Early days, far enough in development for us to know that it's a co-op game that is reminiscent of all those helicopter games that you played, but the hook being you're taking a group of soldiers somewhere to fight, and you watch over them fight. When they're done, you put them back in the chopper and bring them home.
Interesting.
With do you guys ever play Cannon Fodder? Again, that's another Amiga stalwart, so it may not have. I think it came out on the Super Nintendo and the Atari Jaguar. But anyway,
I think I played that one now.
All right. Well, anyway, basically, Desert Strike, but co-op, and with and you're more concerned with managing your team of soldiers than going off as a lone wolf and popping away installations. So, but yeah, we're I don't know, 2-3 months into that one.
How far do you think that? A couple of years away still?
Yeah. I mean, this is our spare time stuff. So if we were working on it full time, we'd be bashing out a game every 6 months. But yeah, this is going to, especially now I've just had a kid, that's probably knocked us back a year. So yeah, a couple of years, 3 years.
So in another decade time, could we expect 4D Don't Die, Mr. Robot?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, like that's the other weird thing about Infinite State games is that because this is a hobby, if a game doesn't sell, we don't starve, we don't close the company, we don't sack people, we don't lay anyone off. We can just make another one, So yeah, whatever happens, the only thing to survive nuclear war will be cockroaches and Infinite State games.
Does that mean we're going to get a sequel to Horatio Goes Snowboarding?
No. Okay. So again, you really have to be British to understand this one. There was a famous game in the early '80s called Horace Goes Skiing. That was the sort of joke that the sort of game that was so bad that no one would ever remake it. And Horatio Goes Snowboarding was our lol. Wouldn't it be funny to remake this dreadful game? But no, there won't be a sequel to that one. That was us, honestly, trying to get sued by the guy that made
really?
No.
The guy that owns the IP for Horace Goes Skiing suddenly popped up out of nowhere a couple of years ago and gave a British comedic YouTuber hell for daring to use his fucking 40-year-old sprite in a YouTube video in a comedic sense. And like, you can't really copyright some guy crossing a road and then skiing. So we thought, all right, well, if you're going to bully this very talented young British YouTuber, we're going to just rip off your whole game wholesale. Fuck you. And And surprisingly, he never did anything because he's got no recourse. But it's still fun. Horatio go snowboarding, but I'll be honest, we did it to wind one guy up, and he didn't take the bait.
Did he ever reply or anything? Nothing.
Nah. He bottled it. But it was also a chance for us to learn Unity. Because previously, like for Don't Die, Mr. Robot and Rogue Aces, we've been using our own engine. For Horatio Go Snowboarding, it was a chance for us to do a little bit of harmless griefing, do a joke that would only appeal to British people over the age of 40. Oh, lol, someone remade Horace Go Skiing. Learn Unity. So no regrets about Horatio. I still put it on now and again for a little play.
That was a cute one. I had fun with that one.
I see that thing's cool. On Xbox. I just added that to my wish list.
Yeah, that's a great backstory for a game.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a fun time as well. Like, it is a fun time, but another hard one. Another arcadey one. But that's what we do.
I like those arcadey games. Like, not everything has to be a 40-hour action RPG, third-person, camera over the shoulder, cinematic. I like having fun arcade games to just chill out with and get a good palate cleanser.
A palate cleanser. That's the phrase exactly I was going to use. Yeah. I mean, like most games, I'm not going to sit there being an old bugger and be critical about the modern video game industry, but there's an awful lot of over-the-shoulder narrative vessels. It doesn't really matter what the game is, as long as there's a story and the camera's over somebody's shoulder, and now and again there's a cutscene where somebody's sad. I think it's important, I think, to have a balanced diet, And some people haven't got all these hours, but they do want to have a little bit of fun in 10 minutes time. And that goes back to my appreciation of Mickey Albert and Mindware. Short form games designed for replayability, where you're going to have a good time whether you play it for 5 minutes or an hour. But the beauty is you can go back in a couple of days, weeks, months, years time and go, oh yeah, that's a good time. I'll stick that on for 10 minutes. Yeah. But with 3D Don't Die Mr. Robot, because we've got we think we've nailed the approach now in the got remix mode, which kind of like guides you through the initial skills required to get the most out of the game, whilst getting slowly harder. I like games where you level up as a player. Instead of like trying to level up your character. So I like stuff that slowly teaches you to be better, slowly teaches you to focus on the right stuff, so that by the end of playing the game for 6-8 hours, it's you that's leveled up. It's your skills. It's you've learned all these tips and tricks. Oh, I know that enemy does this, so I'll avoid doing that. Or I know the best way to score the most points is by doing this. So yeah, that's what I want people to do in 3D Don't Die Mr. Robot, is to slowly, we'll be leveling you up. You don't need to try. Don't try too hard. We'll do it for you, but you will get there.
Nice.
Love it. Got to give a quick shout out. IOP Zodiac just rated us. Welcome in, everybody. We were chatting with Mike Daw of Infinite State Games about 3D Don't Die Mr. Robot. The game, it's out on all platforms right now?
Yeah, pretty much every platform: Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox Series S and X, and Steam.
Yay!
And it's yay! And the soundtrack is available to buy on Bandcamp, and we made it ourselves, and it's a good time if you like bouncing around with catchy music.
Yeah, I figure we could end the show with one of those tracks. Bri was loving the arcade mode song, so we could play that later on in the show when we wrap things up. But for now, we have news we got to take care of. Would you like to stick around and chat news with us?
Yeah, I'm down with that. Well, yeah, let's go.
Cool. I think the big news this week, there's lots of rumors that Xbox is going to be releasing a new console in 2027 with reports of a handheld coming later this year. The reports I've heard is that it might be produced through Asus and be kind of like the Steam Deck in that it's a handheld PC but have a console UI. I don't think it's going to natively play console games, though.
Well, that hardware is going to be great, and the UI is going to suck.
Oh. I don't know that we need a handheld. I'm not a handheld gamer, though, so I don't know.
My kids would appreciate it. Meanwhile, I'm just like I can't use a Nintendo Switch without like my hands like cramping up within 5 minutes. So I'm not big on the idea, but I know my kids would be all over it.
Yeah, see, I have neck problems, so looking down at stuff is just a no-go for me.
This thing is a no-go for people, 35 and up.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with my TV. It's like last year when I went on that trip, I brought my Switch with me to like keep me occupied on the train, and I never played it. I just, I couldn't get in. I don't know. Screen's too small. Controllers are too small. I need something bigger.
I was telling my wife about it, and I was just like, I don't know if we should get it. And she was like, she just looked at me and was like, "You don't ever go outside. Why would you need a portable version?" I'm like, "Ow."
Gotcha.
If it's got like a really cool way of docking it to the TV, then but I think they're going to have to look at that as well. I don't think you can, like, the Steam Deck for me is great, but again, I got one. I don't go outside either. I'll be perfectly honest. And I'm in the situations where I have gone outside. The last thing I want to do is take something pretty much expensive, bigger than an Atari Lynx. It's pretty big, but no, if this thing has a nice way of docking to the TV so that you can suddenly take over the TV and play Xbox games, and great, but I think most people that are in the market for this have probably already got a Steam Deck.
Yeah, maybe.
I'd imagine. If it could natively play Xbox console games, that might get me interested. But if it's just like a Steam Deck, I don't think I need it. That's how I think. PlayStation Plus game catalog getting a nice update next week on the 18th. UFC 5 is joining. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, Captain Tsubasa: Rise of the New Champions. Aki, you'll like this one. Mobile Suit Gundam Battle Operation Code Fairy. Arcade Paradise, Bang on Balls, Siberia: The World Before, and You Suck at Parking.
Okay, so Bang on Balls and You Suck at Parking are great games. That's good for them.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm immature.
What did you say, Jacob? What did you say that your mic didn't pick up?
Balls. Oh, I no, never mind. Continue.
Damn, it must have been real offensive.
PlayStation Plus Premium is getting 4 games, 3 classics with Armored Core Project Phantasma, and Armored Core Master of Arena, all from the PS1. And then the VR is getting another game with Arcade Paradise VR.
That's a good one.
Cool.
So good month for PS Plus games.
Yeah.
Silent Hill F was officially announced today, coming out on PS5, PC, and Xbox Series X and S.
Yay.
Is that the one that's supposed to be based in Japan?
Yeah, 1960s Japan.
Yeah, I was interested in that one. I've never played one of those games, so I'm kind of excited for that.
Well, no date was announced, but we'll see. Split Fiction has sold over 2 million copies in the first week.
Nice.
Good
they
stuff
apparently know how to make good games, so
Yep.
Good on them.
Speaking of sales, the Ori series has now sold over 15 million copies.
Nice.
Yeah. And then on top of that, Moon Studios is now officially fully independent after securing the publishing rights to No Rest for the Wicked from Take-Two since Private Division was sold off.
Oh,
good for them.
Yeah. Powerwash Simulator 2 was announced.
Yay!
Yay!
Yeah, it's going to have a local split-screen co-op and the ability to share campaign progress with a friend online. It's supposed to be out later this year.
4-player co-op and campaign.
Yeah.
My kids are going to love split screen co-op.
I'm excited that like we could play together online and the progress carries for everybody.
Yes, and hopefully that'll count for achievements too.
Yeah, that would be really nice.
And I don't have to clean giant buildings all by myself. Ubisoft has been in discussions apparently with Microsoft, EA, and quote others to potentially sell off some IP.
Who
do you think wants what?
Well, I mean, Prince of Persia is going to be the one that everybody wants.
I think Assassin's Creed is the one everybody wants.
Yeah.
That and Far Cry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think Xbox might be interested in Rainbow Six and possibly Splinter Cell. I would imagine Nintendo would like to get the Rabbids.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
It's also, I mean, going with the Rabbids, that also gets you a big foot in China as well. Like, for whatever reason, the Rabbids are hugely popular over there.
Interesting.
Last bit of news I have is some shutdown news. Stampede Royal Racing Royale is going to close this summer from Sumo Digital. Season 1 will go as planned. The game now has Xbox achievements, and it will end in about 3 months. No exact date was given.
Be nice if they just figured out no one wanted that style of game and stopped wasting time making them.
I think Sumo are in trouble, but in general.
I like Sumo, so I hope this isn't bad news for them.
I liked them when they were doing Outrun.
I have no opinions.
But yeah, if you want to play it, you have a few months to play it. I believe it is a free-to-play game. I don't know if it's still available to download or not. They might have pulled it. But the other shutdown, this one is kind of shocking. Spectre Divide, the 3-on-3 shooter that launched on consoles February 25th, is shutting down after 2 weeks on console. The company said they have run out of money. The company is closing its doors, and the game is shutting down within 30 days.
Yeah, it's the game I think launched on PC like 6 months ago, so it's been out a little longer. But yeah, they've only been 2 weeks on consoles. That's crazy.
I'm guessing the console release was their last ditch effort.
Yeah,
because I think it was like the first day they saw almost 500,000 people log in, but then it severely dropped after that.
And
a bummer.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Ain't that a bitch? Jesus.
It's up there with Concord and The Culling 2.
Like, I feel bad for that. Like, really? Because it was like, I mean, you asked me if I wanted to review it, and I was like, I don't know if I want to, like, really take a chance on it right now, because, like, I've got other shit I have to play.
Yeah.
But, like, the concept seemed kind of interesting. It was just like, I didn't know that if I had the time to learn the mechanic behind it, because it's just like, or now I got 30 days, to
finish it,
to learn it.
At most 30 days. We don't know how soon it's coming down.
Yeah, that's true. But it was like, because you were running around and you were also controlling the bot too at the same time, and like, I don't know. It seemed cool, but I got Disney Dreamlight Valley to play. Let's be honest here.
You depress me sometimes.
Aki, what news do you have? Do you have anything?
No, I'm useless like usual.
Bri, anything on your end?
All I have left is a rumor. The rumors have been around about a remake of Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion for a while now. But now there are new rumors surfacing that we might be getting an official announcement as early as April. So it might be closer than we think if it's happening at all. That was my only news left.
The rumor I saw says it might be announced and released in April.
Yeah, that's what I think people are hoping.
So it might be a shadow drop. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Been talked about for how long? It'd be nice if it exists.
Yeah.
Mike, do you have any news you would like to talk about?
What video game industry related news?
Yeah, anything.
Yeah.
We also have Movie Watch if that interests you more.
Well, like I hear stuff. I'm not gonna. I don't know anything that's not going to get me into trouble if I start talking about.
All the more reason that you're welcome to talk about.
No, Aki.
No. Honestly, I'd love to. I've got very loose lips at the best of times. But no.
Tell us all the classified information you know.
We're all fucked. That's the news. Yeah. No, but for real, we're fucked.
Yeah. Yeah, we are.
Like, games cost way too much to make. There's so many platforms in which to get games, to keep games, to make games. There's Steam's launching about 1,000 games a week. People's time has never been so hotly contested. The games industry goes through these cycles of like boom and bust. I've never seen one like this one before, though. I mean, like last year, I think the UK lost a third of its workforce, and from what I'm hearing, that ain't about to stop anytime soon. Especially if companies start to pull out of their investment out of the UK or America. And a lot of the problem is that a lot of companies that have invested in the UK have invested into companies that have bought other companies. So like when it's a house of cards, when one card topples, the others are all affected. But no one's gonna stop Infinite State Games making games because no one owns us.
In other words, investors, there you go, folks.
Investors, fuck off. We're doing our own shit.
Yeah, we don't need you. We do need you. No, we don't. No, fuck them. Yeah, we do what we want. Yeah, I don't want to be beholden to any twat in a suit that wants us to make a live service game or put a story in our game that doesn't need one. We're just going to make the games that we want to play. Fuck off.
Have you ever thought of like doing a live service parody game that has like a store full of different things of a currency you can't get?
That's actually a really good idea. we often have like discussions about what would we do if we wanted to make money, and
not make video games would be my guess.
More hats for Mr. Robot.
And we can't stop making video games, unfortunately. Like for us, this sounds cheesy as fuck, but our reward is when we get an email saying, I played my game with my boy while we were going through a really tough patch and just wanted to say thank you. Like that's for us. That's our reward. Yeah, it's not summer parties. It's not investors giving us millions. It's the occasional email from a grateful dad or a grateful mum or the best one is, I always loved the music in the game that you did, and now 10 years later, I've just got my first job making games, music for games, stuff like that.
Nice.
That's our big return on investment.
That's awesome that you could inspire people to create their own music. Love it.
I think in the same way that is it Kevin Smith that made that ropey movie set in a store that inspired a lot of people to make a movie. They weren't inspired because they found the movie so amazing. They thought, hey, this guy got this ropey shit out in the market. I think I want to do that too. And
if this schmuck can do it, I'm good.
Yeah, exactly. And if that's the way that we inspire people, then that's equally cool.
Oh man, Jacob, what news do you have? Anything?
We didn't discuss Pokemon Go, did we?
No.
I don't think we did.
Oh, no, we did not.
Pokemon Go is being sold to Saudi Arabia's Scopely for $3.5 billion. All of Niantic's Niantic? Whatever. Their entire gaming thing is being sold off because they can't replicate the success of Pokemon Go. And so now we get to wait and see what's going to happen, because a lot of people think that with as monetized as Monopoly Go is, they're going to do the same thing to Pokemon Go.
I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah.
Gotta monetize everything as badly as possible.
And the only other bit of news I have no movie watch, surprisingly.
Womp womp.
It's disappointing.
Defiance is coming back again.
What?
Yup. The IP has been purchased, and it is going to work on a PC launch again, and then they may do a console version again.
Interesting.
It's going to launch the original version of the MMO, so it's not the 2050 one.
Yeah.
That game is coming back again.
Wild.
That is wild. Are they giving it a movie?
No. It's just the MMO.
I'm gonna play the theme, but we have no movie.
Yeah, I know. I'm a little surprised. Like, this week has been light on video game movie news.
Yeah.
True story. You know Uwe Boll, the guy known for making dreadful video game movies.
Oh yeah.
For some reason, he got temporarily obsessed with Infinite State games and offered to do a script for a Don't Die Mr. Robot movie that in the end ended up being about David Caruso, the guy from that TV show, in the future, and he had to eat fruit or else he exploded. But anyway, the guy's a lunatic.
Are you taking up on his offer to make the movie?
Well, so he kind of he was. I mean, he was really cool. It was just after we released Rogue Aces, and he liked the game, and he was kind of like talking to us for a bit. And yeah, out of the blue, this kind of like high level script came about David Caruso in the future eating fruit, and then he was like, "Yeah, so I'm going to need a couple of mil." And I was like, mate, do you reckon we've got a couple of millions sitting around? You joking? I work in a fucking warehouse, mate. What's your But yeah, absolute lunatic. I think at the time he managed to get some guys working for him for free, making an Uwe Boll RPG, which, guess what, never saw the light of day.
Shocker.
Yeah, I know, right? Who could have seen that coming? But yeah, fascinating guy. But yeah, in an alternate universe, there is a Don't Die Mr. Robot movie made by Uwe Boll.
All right.
That is amazing.
I'm sorry, that story was 100% serious?
Completely serious. That's completely true. I've got the tweets to prove it.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, seriously. I think like he must have been messaging thousands of developers, like offering to do pictures for their indie games. I think somebody must have told him, this is about 8 years ago, indie games are the future or whatever. So, but yeah, for real, he pitched us a Don't Die Mr. Robot movie.
Wow.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Good luck to him. It's a shame you didn't get it. It would have been great.
I don't even know where to carry the conversation after that. Like, that's the coolest bit of news we could have gotten.
I'm happy to give you that little nugget.
This is possibly the best moment I've ever had on this podcast. I'm dead.
I thought the best moment was when
I've
you
been here
left.
the whole entire. Like, I've been here since like single-digit episodes. Holy shit!
I'll try and dig you out a screenshot of the tweets he sent. But yeah, oh my goodness. It was really difficult because when he got really into it and was texting me all this stuff, I was on holiday with my missus at the time, and it got a bit much for me, to be honest, because it was like, this is actually Uwe Boll, and whatever you think of his creative output or not, this is a real film director who's either got a genius idea here and is purposefully trolling the world, or he's absolutely off of his fucking rocker. Don't make a movie about this game, you maniac. But yeah, it was pretty intense, that period of time. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, I wouldn't say he wasn't going to take no for an answer, but he was very, very keen to get that project rolling.
Oh my god.
Oh man, that is like the best story we could have gotten to wrap this up.
Yeah, there's your exclusive, folks. There's your exclusive for that. Yeah.
I wonder if I could like name drop him in the title and get him to pay attention to this.
I mean, he follows
like a bat signal going up. His name is mentioned. He's like, I must investigate.
I mean, he follows us on Twitter.
Does he?
And
we don't use Twitter anymore.
Twitter.
Oh, damn. Okay. Well, on Facebook, we do follow his page, and I think he's occasionally liked our stuff.
That's hilarious.
Oh wow. I mean, oh my god, yeah. Like he's gonna get tagged this time. Holy shit.
Okay, well, if you're listening to this, sorry I called you a fucking maniac. You're a great guy.
Uwe, you're a fucking maniac, and we would love to have you on the show.
There you go.
God, that would be.
What I will say is he's got a lot of energy. He's one of a kind.
That might be a fun episode if that ever happened. But we'll plan that for like episode 2000 or something.
I really think he'd be up for that. I really think he would absolutely do that, to be honest. Like, I mean, if he spent a load of his time talking to us about a Don't Die Mr. Robot movie, he would absolutely have time for a proper podcast that's been going for years. Give it a go.
And well, there you go, Jacob. Shoot him a message. See if you could get him on.
Oh my god.
And if you can't, we're blaming you.
Yeah,
that's fair.
That is fair. Anyway, Mike, I want to thank you for coming on, chatting with us, hanging out with us. We're going to take a quick break and come back. We have some reviews we got to take care of. It's been an absolute pleasure having you back on the show, chatting again. We'll have to do this again, preferably before 9 years is up. Where can people keep up to date with you and what you're doing?
We're on Blue Sky Social, we're on X, we're on Threads. Basically, all the social media platforms, toxic or otherwise, we've got some form of presence on. But best way to keep in touch with us or keep track of what we're doing is keep an eye on our Steam page. Basically, any game that we make will come out on Steam first, and then we'll probably give it to eastasiasoft to make happen on consoles. So you'll always see new games, new stuff that we're doing on Steam. If you follow Infinite State Games on Steam, we've got the Infinite State Games collection currently on sale in this Steam Spring Sale. So you can get 4 of our games for not a lot of money. That's Rogue Aces Deluxe, which is a heck of a game. Horatio Goes Snowboarding, the aforementioned, the original Don't Die Mr. Robot, and 3D Don't Die Mr. Robot. But Blue Sky Social is the social media platform that we're probably most honest on. Every social media platform gets its kind of like, oh yeah, this game's on sale, this is our game, whatever. But if you want a little insight into our inner thoughts, Blue Sky Social is the one where we're a little bit more honest.
Gotcha.
Followed. Gonzo Developers Extraordinaire. I love it.
That's the one. That's the one. I mean, we did that because I went on the Sony store and it had the independent games sale and it had stuff like Powerwash Simulator and all these huge games that come from companies with investors. And we used to be indie. We used to be in the sense that we were independent. We don't have anyone telling us what to do. But independence gone now. That's ruined. What was left? Gonzo.
Yeah, independent now is like AA games instead of AAA.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
it
they
means
still have big publishers,
nothing.
and I don't get it. How is a Ubisoft game indie? Or how is a Square game indie?
Exactly. Yeah, the word is meaningless now. But okay, yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure having you on.
Been great chatting.
Everyone, we're going to take a tiny little break. We will be right back with more show. Mike, do you have any final words to end the interview?
Have a good time all the time.
The game is paused. Take some deep breaths. It's just a game. Focus your mind. The game is paused. Believe in yourself. You're doing great. Pause. The game is paused.
Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for sticking around. Another huge thanks to Mike Daw, Infinite State Games, coming on, chatting about 3D Don't Die, Mr. Robot, and Uwe Boll, and
the best story ever.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
That was pretty fantastic.
Like,
so yeah,
I still can't believe it. Yeah.
So, is there anything else anyone wanted to talk about, or should we dive into reviews?
I think I'm ready for reviews.
Are you ready, Bri? Because you're up first.
All right.
You got the big one of the week.
All right. Big fish. Let's go.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right. First game to talk about tonight is Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster, Gate Rune, and Dunan Unification Wars. Developed and published by KONAMI, released March 7th on Xbox One, Series X and S, Switch, PS4, PS5, and PC for $49.99. A Hero's Destiny is written in the stars. The legendary KONAMI JRPG Suikoden 1 and 2 have now been remastered in HD. Bri, you've been crazy excited about this one. Big shout out to KONAMI for hooking us up with the ability to review this one. So Bri, tell us what is going on in your favorite RPGs.
I get an audience to talk to people about Suikoden. Sweet! So first of all, I threw up Kermit arms that the game was finally in my possession, and then I loaded the game and I cried a little at the intros because all the memories came back.
You laughed.
This is my favorite. I cried. I did. This is my favorite JRPG. I love so many other games like Final Fantasies and the like, but this one is it for me. It's the only one I still have all my original discs, and then I have a collection of Hero Figs in a shadow box. I posted a picture in the Discord. It's a terrible picture, but you get the point. I have a cool collection.
That is a cool collection.
It's the only thing I still have a collection for besides Ewoks. I sold all my Final Fantasy figs. I sold all the cool stuff over the years, but I have kept my Suikoden Heroes collection because it's awesome. At the time of this review, I have not finished all of Suikoden 2 because I wanted to get the perfect game of Gate Rune War first. Because just like the original games, you can load your save data from the first game, and that will affect certain outcomes and recruitable characters you can find in Dunan Unification War. And I really wanted to savor my Suikoden 1 experience before tackling the longer and more nuanced 2. Well, heck, I actually went back to an earlier save because I realized I totally missed a recruitable character, and it's like one of the few missables because I was like going into this like, I'm not going to look at a guide. And then I looked at a guide and I was like, damn it. So now I'm starting back over at an earlier save and going back through because I want the perfect game because I love it. And I don't care. I don't mind replaying the 20 hours or so that I've got to replay now. It's fine. I love it. And I'm sure I missed stuff, and it'll be a more efficient run through at this point. And I'll get back to where I was, and it'll be fabulous. Little history. This Japanese series is loosely based on a classical Chinese story called Water Margin. The original title in Japanese basically means Fantasy Water Margin. This was created by Yoshitaka Murayama and published by KONAMI. The creator passed away just before the release of the spiritual successor to the series, Eiyuden Chronicles 100 Heroes. And just a little side note, if you ever played Vampire Survivors and you loved the garlic Evo called the Soul Eater, you've been treated to a Suikoden reference right there, as the symbol on the weapon is the same as the main rune in the first Suikoden game.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
There you go. Yeah. A little personal history. When Suikoden first came out in America, I found it at a local Blockbuster one fateful night when my boyfriend at the time was having a guys' night and wanted me out of the way. I rented the game and a couple of movies I never got to, got some candy and some Surge soda.
Ooh,
and retired.
Surge.
Yeah, and I retired to the gaming loft for the weekend. The guys never saw me until they came to check on why I was so quiet, because I could not put the game down. I was playing for 30 hours straight, struggling to stay awake through the final boss because it was just that damn good.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's my personal history with the game. Like, it's that good. But let's talk story. One of the hallmarks of the series is the interconnectedness of all the stories across the games, meaning you'll meet some characters in one game and the next. The other is the collection of the 108 stars of destiny and the raising of your army and building of your base. Each game in the series does their tactical combat war battle sequences a little differently. Please don't fear the tactics or you will miss out on fabulous story. One of the other features of the series are the runes you can attach to your characters and improve their skills or give them magic powers. A lot of key stories in the series surround some major characters who possess one of the 27 true runes or related to the 27 true runes. And these runes grant longevity to their bearers, so some of them are hundreds of years old, having been in possession of these runes, which is kind of cool when you look at the retrospective of the series story. But in the first game, The Gate Ruler, it starts out with the son of one of the great generals of the Empire getting in a situation with one of his best friends, who happens to secretly be the bearer of the true rune of life and death, otherwise known as the Soul Eater. And he's being hunted by a power-hungry advisor to the Emperor named Lady Windy, who possesses half of the true rune of the Gate. Really early on, we start to see the corruption of the Empire. We find ourselves in the presence of an idealistic freedom fighter named Odessa, and after a series of events, we're convinced to take up her calling and lead the rebellion against the increasingly wicked Emperor and fight our way to the top, including going through our own father. Features and mechanics of the original game include an irritating management system for items. I had totally forgotten about that and fell right back into the process of transferring and equipping items. You have limited space on each person for items and new things. They auto-slot into the first available person, so you really have to juggle all of your items. You can upgrade your weapons in addition to equipping powerful runes. Your characters auto-upgrade their stats as you level, so you don't need to worry about that. You'll need to manage the party formation because each character has short, medium, or long-range attacks, and there are 2 rows in your party with a max of 6 members. You also get powerful unite attacks with unique combinations of characters.
Unique.
And there's a great auto-battle function that you can now also speed up in battle. Thankfully, there's a run button, because otherwise you move painfully slow. Let's talk about the story in Suikoden 2. The Dunan Unification War starts out with 2 best friends getting mixed up in a border dispute with a mad, power-hungry prince trying to take over as warlord. They are youth soldiers. They're about to go home, or so they thought. Their peace treaty is attacked, but it's a setup by Prince Luca. Eventually, they're bestowed the power of the Black Sword rune and the Bright Shield runes, placing them in opposite ideologies, bound to fight each other until one survives. This takes place a few years after the last game, in a territory to the north. Again, we find ourselves in a group of ragtag heroes, fighting for what's right, building an army and a base. This one's a bit more emotional than the first, for me at least. It's a bit darker and more adult than the first, considering it's surrounding heroes so young. And it is an absolute joy to see characters from the first game back in the second game. Some features and mechanics: the item system is much improved. There's more unite attacks. You have disposable rune items. You can attach more runes to each person. Their tactics are improved. The game is bigger, full of memorable characters, some we already know and love that we get to see again. But let's talk collection features, because this is a remaster collection. It's an HD remaster. They've redone the first game more than the second, in my opinion, as was evident with the opening menu movie. In the second game, the video was very much the same, but the graphics looked fresh and newer. The first was like a whole rebuild to me. There's upgraded backgrounds, animation effects, sound effects, and more that all go into this updated game set that you can immerse yourself in. But dragons still sound like elephants, so they didn't ruin that. Also, your no sound is the quack sound. Gotta love it. Sounded great. There's a lot of effort into the new text box that reads clean for modern viewers. The background and reflection work is cleaned up and pretty, along with the character art, but the sprites stayed very much the same. So I felt like I was seeing a nicer version of things how I remembered them, which is fabulous. The music is delightfully the same, again, as I remember it, but it might have been cleaned up for the collection. Still can't beat Gothic Necklord or the Suikoden 2 opening theme, in my opinion, which would be another good thing to play at the end of this if you wanted something fun to play. Gothic Necklord is a banger. In the main menu is a gallery with a music player, so you can listen to all the songs, cinematics, and events viewer, available endings and credits. But in order to view anything aside from the music, you have to have clear game save data, so there's no spoilers for you. Each game has a digital manual on the menu screen. Let's see. The game also offers difficulty modes, easy, normal, and hard. Once you choose hard, you're stuck. If you want to switch between easy and normal, you can do that at any time from the in-game settings once you've started your game on easy or normal, that is. And there is an achievement for beating each game in the collection on hard. Ooh. It's not that hard. Don't be afraid. If you've ever played these before, it's not that hard. If you've never played them before, it only takes a little bit of extra grinding. And if you pre-ordered the collection, or I don't know if they'll offer a DLC in the future, they also gave you some extras with 57,000 starting potch. That's the currency in the game. And a fortune and prosperity orb, which gives you like double money and double XP for one character to start the game with, which was pretty cool. There are 16 save slots per game. What was missing for me was an easy way to load the game. If you feel you made a mistake and you wanted to go back to a previous save, all I could figure out to do was dashboard the game and go back to the main menu screen that way. That's my only real gripe about the game. It's not that big a deal. It's just a little annoying. But yeah, there's no in-game menu. I could find menu button to take you back to the collection menu or restart the game. You just have to dashboard, which was weird. There's also an autosave function, battle fast forward, I think I mentioned earlier, and a conversation log that has been added to the collection. Each game also comes with extra credits at the end, so you know who worked on the original games and the remaster. Nice. And there's no way to skip these credits at 5 a.m. when you just want to go to bed now that you beat the game. So be prepared. It's a long ending. There are numerous glitches the Suikoden community has noted that are fixed from the original, like the Matilda gate glitch no longer works. You used to be able to get into Matilda early on by going to the Highland Muse border, or the Matilda Muse border, sorry. And you could like push the door out of the way. It was really cool. But that no longer works. They fixed that. So I guess it really was a glitch. There's been argument over the years about that, whether it was a feature or a glitch, like a secret. But no, apparently it was a glitch and they fixed it. We already knew I was going to love this collection, but I guess I have to give a final verdict, don't I?
I mean, if you want to.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, I think you should. We're kind of obligated to do it. That's your call.
Well, tell us the price again. Tell us all the deets, and I'll give my verdict.
Well, you see, the game costs $49.99, and that includes both Suikoden 1 and 2. So you're getting two RPGs that retail for about $9,000 for $50.
True story.
What do you think? How is the pack? Like, is the package? I know value-wise, the package is absolutely worth it.
It absolutely is.
These games are ridiculously expensive and hard to get. Like, first off, thanks KONAMI for doing this. You're saving everyone a lot of money.
True story.
Is the enhancements, is all the upgrades worth it? Is everything on the level?
I like the enhancements. I like the HD background redo. I think it sounds beautiful. Other than not having a back button to get to the main menu, this collection is flawless for me. I love the mixture of the new graphics with the original sprites, because let's be honest, the pixel art was amazing at the time. It's an absolute amazing trip down memory lane. It's a fabulous value. It's probably my 2 favorite JRPGs of all time. It's a buy it.
Very good. Any other comments on it? The floor is yours. You can take as much time as you want on this game. Anything else you want to say?
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm having way too much fun.
All right, sounds good. Next game to talk about, Slime Heroes, developed by Pancake Games. Love it. Published by Whitethorn Digital, released March 6th on Xbox One, Series X and S, and PC for $29.99. Journey with your fellow slimes to save the ancient guardians from mysterious corruption taking over the land. Explore a whimsical world filled with secret passageways, challenging puzzle dungeons, and forgotten treasures. Consume special gems and dynamically combine them to create unique magical skills. Level up and fight back against the corrupted minions to restore the land. If I did my math right, that's our 400th unique on the show since we started keeping track. Jacob and Bri, both of you covered Slime Heroes. Jacob, start us off. What is this game?
So Slime Heroes is an action RPG that features little slime guys, surprisingly. You are thought to be the last of your kind, and you're protected by this huge I don't know, kind of like Chinese dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like a Chinese dragon. And it is like your protector and your best friend, and it takes care of you for years, and then seemingly dies protecting you. And so now you have to save the land of like the corruption that's spreading through. And you do this by attacking all the bad guys, and it turns out that the bad guys aren't really bad, they're just corrupted. And so like once you get rid of the evil, like the actual original creature like hops away, kind of like like Sonic the Hedgehog looking stuff. And you gain new powers like a whirlwind, or like kind of like a force push kind of thing. Like a projectile shot, and you have to solve puzzles, defeat enemies. It's very Zelda-esque in what it does, and it's a lot of fun. I was having a blast going through it, like just collecting shards in the grass, sneaking up on foes, and like doing all these like heavy attacks where my little slime guy would turn into a boot or a fist, like
An
as
anvil.
he's like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, also the anvil too. As you're crushing these guys, and I was just having a lot of fun with this thing. It was fun, like doing like all the little quests, and I really liked all the temples. Like the little puzzle areas. I did have some difficulty figuring them out, but like once I did, like it was great. Like I felt like I was actually like accomplishing things in this game. Like I was having a really fun time with it. Bri, how about you?
So, first of all, this is not the cozy vibe I'm used to when I think of Whitethorn. There are cute little things you can customize to your liking, and like your name. My slime is purple and has cat eyes and little fangs. That part was cool. It's a very colorful world.
I was gonna say my kids actually got hung up in that area.
Oh yeah.
I was a little surprised that there's no like real quick start. Like it just shoves like the
There is a
customization.
randomizer.
I know that there is that, but I don't think that for like, I don't know, like, because by the time that both of my kids had finished messing with their little slime guys, they were just like, oh, let's go play something else. And I'm like, guys, like, you like this kind of gameplay, just give it, like, okay.
Yeah. So, I had some difficulties with it. The camera is fixed and you can't move it, and that was a little frustrating at times.
That is frustrating, especially during some of the puzzles.
Yeah. And I found this game to be kind of Souls-like in some aspects. You don't have a lot of health to start. You have to dodge incoming attacks. When you die, the area resets, and you have to get back to where you died to pick up your shards.
Thankfully,
I was not expecting that.
I mean, I only expected it because I read it in the description once accidentally, and but thankfully, I never had an issue recovering my stuff.
If you die more than once, like if you die before you get back to your shards, they disappear. So
yeah, but the shards usually like come in.
They're easy enough to recover.
Yeah, and so I honestly that was something I was worried about at first, but yeah, I never ended up having an issue with it.
And there's this monkey-like critter you can heal at and fast travel, or use to fast travel. You can use it to level up with your shards. But like the fires in Dark Souls, using it resets the area, and then you have to fight everything all over again. Took me a bit to figure out that I had to host a game before it would allow me to do co-op with a friend. You really have to work with your partner on the map, or you won't progress. You'll hit an invisible wall if you're too far apart.
Okay.
I found that the game was way more fun with a friend and easier too. When you die, if your partner can stay alive long enough, you'll eventually respawn with half health, which was really helpful. I ran into some glitchy stuff though in co-op where like shards and enemies would linger on the screen. There was some lag on the part of the person not hosting in combat. And there was a point in the game where the textures disappeared, leaving us with a flat map.
Oh, geez.
Weird.
Yeah, so I ran into some issues with it. I had an okay time with it.
I unfortunately only got to do single player. Neither of my kids followed through with co-op with me or with each other.
But I know the co-op advertises jump in, jump out, and all loot is shared, which is good.
Yes, that was also
nice
good.
bonus.
Yeah,
shared loot is thumbs up in a co-op game. This game costs $30. I know a lot of people are kind of concerned about the price on this. What do you two think? Is this worth $30?
I'll let you go first, Jacob.
I would have been more cool with like 20, maybe 25 at most. I mean, I enjoyed it. I really didn't have a lot of complaints aside from the camera, but even the camera, I didn't really have that much of an issue. It just became a bunch of trial and error for me. And then, like if I died, then whatever, I just got my shards back. Like it was never really that big of an issue. I had fun with it. Like I'd recommend it.
Yeah, it feels like there's a lot of content for the price, but also it feels a little steep. And to me, I felt like the game needed a little work. So, I mean, I could give this a try if you're in the market for a cute Souls-like. But I would say wait for a sale, maybe.
Yeah.
I like the whole co-op thing might have changed my opinion on it. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But, I had fun. So
Good.
If anything, yeah, wait for a sale.
So try it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we'll split the difference. Yeah.
Works for me. Next up, we got some visual novels to talk about. Never 7, The End of Infinity, developed by Mages, published by Spike Chunsoft, released March 6th on PS4, Switch, and Steam for $19.99. April 6th, the day everything changed. The uneasiness turned into despair, and the premonition turned into calamity. Will Makoto be able to stop the tragedy and see the light on the morning of day 7? Aki, what is going on in Never 7?
Okay, in this, you play as a young guy. Name is not exactly important. In this one, you'll hear that again here soon. You are at a college getaway type thing. You and a few other students are sent out to basically get to know each other. It seems like you're all from different departments and stuff at the university. So I don't know what exactly is going on. It doesn't make a whole ton of sense. But you're sent out there with 3 other people, and you all have to be there, or else you're gonna get a bad grade, because apparently all of you are what's the word? Failures. Yeah, you're failures. So yeah, you head out there, and you're there to get along with these people. You have a bright, bubbly girl who is absolutely and totally useless in every conceivable way. You have a loner girl who just wants people to leave her the fuck alone. And then you have a douchebag who your lips say no, his money says yes types. So, you know, if you'll have more reasons to hate him as this continues. And you start having weird dreams. All of you do. Nightmares, even. And it turns out you're actually there for a reason. But the leader of this place, which is the bright, bubbly girl, she was just chosen at random. She's not allowed to tell you what that reason is until the last day. I.e., you're in some sort of experiment, which is totally illegal to do without consent. And things very quickly start to become a little hectic as, you know, let's look at one instance. You hear the loner girl fall over and land on her butt. You walk over and you help her up. Wait, why is she standing up there? You just picked her up off the ground. And she jumps. Oh, she's landed on her butt. I guess I'll pick her back up. Wait, what? That's not right. And that is exactly what starts happening more and more often. You see things and do things, and then you see and do those things some more, and that's not normal. And that is one of the main components that the person who wrote this story, they really like that writing. In case you don't know the person who wrote this, they also did the Zero Escape games, which were they were about time loops. He really likes time loops. This one, I started the second game before I did the first one because I didn't realize the order. I
didn't know what order they were in either, so that's not bad.
Yeah, so I started the second game first, and I played through a first playthrough of that, and my eyes were killing me by the time I got to this one. So I didn't get quite as far as I would have preferred in this game because of that, sadly. Because I can only handle so much reading.
Yeah,
this game is very much you play a route, and then it tells you you're in a loop. And that's not really ruining the story because it's pretty obvious that you're in a loop from, well, the moment you see that loop of that girl falling on her ass twice in a row. It becomes very obvious that something's going on. It's mostly set with just those four characters, you and your three school partners. There are some other characters. There's a pair of sisters that work in a restaurant, with the youngest one being in middle school, and lips say no, money says yes guy tried hitting on the younger one immediately upon meeting her. So, you know, again, in case you didn't have enough reasons to hate him, there's a little more. And yeah, you're expected to play through this game many, many times. This is very much one of them where you're expected to get every ending of the game, which means, you know, you get the good ending, the bad ending, the other bad ending, and the other bad ending for each character, so on and so forth, because each one of them tells you more about the story, so that once you've done all those routes, a new route opens, and you get to actually see it through and break the loop. That's kind of his MO. You're going to hear basically these exact words very, very soon, because you're in a time loop, people.
Yay.
Yeah. There is one negative to this game. It's that this is one of the earlier works of his. And
this was
it's
2000, if my Wikipedia is telling me correctly. This was
Around there.
originally in 2000, and Ever 17 was 2002. So these are some old games. And based on what I'm reading on Steam, the remaster is somewhat lacking based on like artwork upscaling, voice quality, typos. It just seems like they ran into issues with this one.
Yeah, I didn't notice a lot of typos in this game out of the two of these, because these come in a two for pack. I didn't notice any typos, but again, I didn't get as far into this as I usually prefer to get into these games.
Yeah.
However, graphically, this is an old game, and it's kept those old-ass graphics that don't look particularly amazing, but they're fine. However, this, I believe, is one of his earlier games that he wrote for, and that kind of shows, because it's not particularly well written. It's fine. Like, this is made for, young teenagers. It's fine. This is still better than fucking Harry Potter. So, but it for anyone, people like me who's read a lot of books and have played a lot of these games, this one's not particularly well written, sadly.
Right.
But it is nice to see the evolution of his work.
Yeah, well, before we give a verdict, let's talk about the other game, and we'll talk about them as a pair. Ever 17, The Out of Infinity, developed by Mages, published by Spike Chunsoft, released March 6th on PS4, Switch, and Steam for $29.99. A theme park of dreams and hopes sunk in the depths of the mysterious blue ocean. Can dreams and hopes still be found there, or is there some other mystery lurking? Overcoming one crisis after another, they search for a way to escape. Tell us about this one.
Okay, and this, you're playing as a different dude.
Holy shit, you put 30 hours in this?
Yeah, and I only got one singular playthrough of it in that 30 hours. Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah. This one, you're playing as a different college dude. You're going with two of your friends to this underwater theme park aquarium thing. Because originally your friend asked a girl out, and she rejected his stupid ass. So then he tried to bring you, and you were like, no, two dudes aren't going to this place that's made for couples and families. Invite another dude too. Because then there'll be three of us, and it won't seem gay. That is what I have to assume was the conversation that they had to get all three of them there. And yeah, the whole place is set in this... Basically, it's an underwater facility that goes pretty deep underwater, and it's 3 levels... And it's just this big, great, cool place so people can see the fishies and lots of holograms and all that fun shit, I guess. And you and your friends get split up almost immediately because the elevator takes 17 minutes to get people down to the first level of this from above water because it has to pressurize and all that shit. And the three of you never thought, hey, what happens if we get split up? Because you're all college kids and therefore have the IQ of turnips. So you get down there, can't find them, and then everything goes straight to shit in the worst ways possible. Suddenly there's water leaking in this place, and I don't mean like a little leak, I mean like... It is flooding this underwater facility. Everyone has taken escape pods, because otherwise it would take 30-something minutes to go up by elevator, and it can only take so many people. And you end up being trapped down there with a young child named Coco and her dog Pee-Pee. Yes, that's its name. It's P-I-P-I.
Nice.
A young boy who has amnesia that everyone just calls Kid because he doesn't know his name. A pissy bitch named Dagami, I think is her name. A worker at the place called U. It's short for something, but it's not YU like you would expect. It's YOU, which made reading this a big fucking pain in my ass. Because every time someone would start talking to or about you, I thought they were talking to or about my goddamn character. Because YOU doesn't work. And yeah, you're basically trying to escape this place that is filling with water and falling apart, and you only have so much oxygen left, and every route is basically dealing with one of the individuals there or with the AI supervisor, I guess we'll call it. I don't know what exactly you'd call her. She basically does all the customer interactions, like greeting everybody, telling them about the place, stuff like that. Her name's Sora, I believe it was. And you're just trying to get out and keep everyone together. And for that, you basically go on a path with one of these individuals to hopefully keep their shit together and get to know them a little better, which opens up the story.
Speaking of the story, I'm hearing this is not the original story and that it's based on the Xbox 360 remake of the game from 2011.
I would not know anything about that. I've never played these games. I didn't actually think these games had even come to the US. I thought this was their first introduction to the US. I thought they came out in Japan.
Yeah.
In early 2000s.
Yeah, they never came
that
to
was
America.
it. Okay.
And the 360 remake never came to America.
Oh, okay. I would not be shocked. This one is also the one where you start seeing lots of mistakes in it. Like for one of the areas that I saw, and it was horrifically hilarious, but characters are talking, and then it says edit. And then someone has written something because they were supposed to edit this section to make it say something. And it was like just an edit telling them this word sounds wrong, but it's okay. But we don't see what the sentence is because they've written that over where the sentence was supposed to go. That was clearly for the back end, not for us, the players, to see. Please
tell me you got a screenshot of that.
I do not, but I can probably find it. It was great. No. And yeah, this one again, you're going through a time loop. This one you don't see the time loop. It's at the end. The game just outright tells you you're in a time loop. Now go back and do this over again and pick different choices. And again, like the last game, as you might have figured out from this time loop, you're expected to go through every route on this one too to figure out the full story and open it up so you can break the loop. And you won't hear that again because this is the end of that loop. I did play completely through this once. I went with the pissy bitch, and it had some very interesting twists in it that I didn't expect. So that was nice. I should have expected there to be twists, but I didn't realize who the writer was until I was done with this one, because a friend of mine mentioned these games, and I was like, okay. They're like, oh, you know that the writer also wrote these games. I was like, oh, that explains everything. So yeah, the graphics on this one are a lot better. Like significantly. I'm shocked that these came out 2 years apart from each other originally. That's how much better this one looks than the other one. I feel like this one is a lot longer than the other one is as well. Like, every individual story, I feel, is longer. But I think the first one probably has more of them that you have to go through. If that makes sense. So the game might be longer in the first one, but every individual story is longer in the second one. If that's understandable.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's really it, because I don't want to give away too much of the story.
Yeah. Well, let's talk pricing on these. Never 7 is $20. Ever 17 is $30. Steam has a bundle of the two available for $45. What are your thoughts on everything?
Getting them together, I think, is a good way to go about it, because, you get one really good game and one mediocre game for slightly cheaper. So I'm for that. If you just want to buy one of them, I would get Ever 17 out of Infinity between the two, because it's written much better, even if it does cut out at least one set of lines for an edit. It's still, the writing is significantly better, and it becomes pretty obvious within just a few minutes of reading both of them. So yeah, if you're just going to pick one, pick Ever 17, but I think getting both is fine. And I would also suggest the Zero Escape games, because that's, I feel, when he really, really knew what he was doing writing. I really like those games. So yeah, they're good. But if you only have to do one, then only get Ever 17. It's much better.
Cool. All right, next up, 3D Don't Die Mr. Robot, developed by Infinite State Games, published by eastasiasoft, released March 12th on Xbox One, Series X and S, Switch, PS4, PS5, and PC for $9.99. Take the role of Mr. Robot, who's been trapped in a highly dangerous and rather fruity dimension called the Neon Dungeon. The only way to survive is to collect fruits which explode on contact, destroying any enemies in their blast radius, helping Mr. Robot cheat death for a few more moments. To assist him further, exploding fruits can set off chain reactions, causing other fruits to explode, filling the screen with destruction, and more importantly, points. Everyone played this. Jacob, start us off. What's 3D Don't Die Mr. Robot?
So 3D Don't Die Mr. Robot is hopefully Uwe Boll's next movie. Fingers crossed. But you play as this little robot guy who has to run around a set area, whether it's a giant rectangle or if you do some of the other levels. Things get pretty wacky with the different shapes that they come up with. But yeah, you just have to collect these fruits that randomly appear around the levels and deal with all of these alien, robot, whatever the heck they are, things that suddenly start coming after you. And how you do this is by, when you eat these fruits, it causes a chain reaction, and these explosions will hopefully capture your enemies. But in all reality, what you're doing is a ton of dodging in this. And as you collect the coins, you can use those for upgrades. You just keep going and going.
Yeah, I refute a little bit of what Jacob just said. You're not doing a lot of dodging in this game. What you're doing is a lot of damn dying in this game. That's what you're really doing. You're trying to dodge, but you're dying a shit ton. That's what's really happening, folks. Don't let Jacob lie to you.
Also, I take back one thing I said. I think I said that there's upgrades. I don't believe that there actually are upgrades. I'm playing a lot of dodge 'em up games right now for review.
You're getting shit confused. GG.
Yeah, I think I just described a different game.
Yeah, you did. The only stuff that's added into this game is outfits and stuff.
Yeah, the hats and different colors.
Sunglasses and yeah.
Yeah, which honestly, those things, those are kind of fun too. Some of them are not great looking, but I had fun dressing my guy up in a little top hat and cowboy hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's wearing a messed up top hat. that's all like crushed on one side. I like it.
Oh yeah, I know which one you're talking about. I've got that one too.
So yeah, there's the 4 different modes. There's Remix, which is the series of different styles of levels, like shapes, types of fruit, types of enemy. Like there's an eggplant level. There's Arcade mode, which is an endless mode where you rack up a high score. Lime Attack, which is the time attack mode with the all lime fruit. And then there's Chill Out. I really like Chill Out because everything moves a little slower, and I felt like it was more manageable to learn the basics of different enemies.
And all the
lasers.
fruits were giant.
Yes. Everything was giant in that.
True.
But yeah, there's like lasers and worms and giant robots and seeker missiles and all sorts of different obstacles that pop up. And then the music, the techno beat, whatever they what did you call it, acid house? I don't know. Increases the urgency of everything, which is great. There's also a global leaderboard where you can see your ranking in arcade mode.
Yeah, and I'm number 2 in it, so come get some bitches.
And back to the hats and coin, or that you spend your coins on and skins and stuff. There is an achievement for getting all of the stuff out of the machine. So
yeah, so you're going to be sitting there a long time.
Which is
Dying
fine.
There's also 100 deaths achievement too.
Oh,
yeah, I got that while we were doing the interview.
You couldn't say you're playing the game. Like, hey, Mike, I'm playing your game right now.
I was busy playing it, not talking.
All right, does anyone have any more comments on the game? Because we talked about it a lot. If people want to hear more about the game, listen to the episode.
Yeah, true story.
Rewind it, start over. There's like an hour.
Yeah,
talked a lot.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah. I liked it.
$10.
Well, y'all talked a lot.
Oh hell yeah! Definitely for $10.
Yeah, to buy it.
Cool.
You know, I honestly was worried that I wouldn't be able to play much of it because of all the flickering and flashing and all the laser light shows. I really like this game. I'm never going to be able to 100% it, but I really like it. It's really fun. And whilst I can't play it in large time periods all at once, I've thoroughly enjoyed it. So it's definitely worth a buy to me.
Cool. Anyone else?
Nope.
All right, so buy it. Sounds good. Next up, Cat President, a more perfect union.
Yay!
Oh, hold on. I got a button for this.
What the hell is
that? All right, Cat President, a more perfect union. There we go. Developed by Rock Studios, published by Penguin Pop Games, released March 5th, Xbox One, Series X and S for $8.99. You're just an ordinary teen girl looking for work after your college dreams didn't quite pan out. But when you get lost backstage during a national debate, you find so much more. A bunch of talking cats who are running for president. That's not even the weird part. They all want to hire you as a campaign manager. Can you handle the world of presidential politics? Do you even know what a campaign manager does? Will you find love with your candidate in order to form a more perfect union? Jacob and Bri, both of you covered this. Bri, how about you start us off? What's Cat President?
So yeah, I mean, you just kind of described some of the basis of the story. You're given the choice to become a campaign manager for one of 6 cats. They each have a different story of how you get to the end. Jacob, which cat did you choose first?
Oh shoot, I don't remember the names of them. It was the one that was polling in 6th place.
Oh, that was Kale, I think.
Yes, Kale was my
Kale.
first.
You went for the underdog, not the actual dog.
No, the actual dog was my second choice.
Oh yeah, because there was one cat named Rover who is clearly a dog pretending to be a cat. But yeah, you have 6 cats to choose from, each with a different story. I think I liked Frisky the most. That was the one I started with, and I really enjoyed that one. He was quite the lecherous cat. He
These
gets
cat
himself
names are great, by the way.
Oh yeah, the DJ Nibbles is another one.
Rover, Kale, Frisky, Thunderpaw, and Dr. Nom Noms.
Yes, Dr. Nom Noms. That was another good one. And you can actually, I think there's 2 you can actually get married to. There's like a romance option as part of some of the different paths.
Kale is one that you can romance.
Yeah.
I don't know that you're able to marry Kale, but you are able to romance.
Yeah, you can romance Frisky as well. Although you try to get him to change his ways. It's really cute. The art for the game is made of doctored stock footage and photos of cats and people, similar to their other game, The Pizza Delivery Boy Who Saved the World, which is one of my favorite visual novels on Xbox.
I really enjoyed that title too.
Yeah, it's the art is really silly. It's a little refreshing in the visual novel space to see something other than anime. So there's that. But what were you going to say, Jacob? Sorry.
And for as wacky as it was, like as we discussed previously, the year it came out, that was actually a dark horse contender for my Game of the Year nomination because it just hit wacky and weird in all the right spots, and it was
so good.
It's a lot of fun.
It really is. And this one was great too. Exactly. The plots of each path are silly in their own ways, full of betrayal, redemption that you'd expect to be in politics. And I love the main premise that people were thrown out of politics because they suck and the cats were put in instead. Like it's just a great hook.
And the cats were going to somehow make it, and the government was somehow slightly more efficient.
And it's full of cat puns. So there's also that. I don't know, Jacob, what else did you run into in your runs?
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of the romance stuff is really what threw me for it, because it was just like I wasn't going to put it past the devs to have included it. Like I was just expecting like a weird like possibly political intrigue kind of stuff with this, like on a very surreal way, but it kept throwing curves during the romance stuff that I was just like, it's seriously not going to go into this territory. And then I thought about Kale even more, how I wanted to be married to it. It was just like, what? Like, I'm on board with this, but also what in the hell am I playing?
There's some good plot twists though. Like, I don't want to spoil the story, but like, there's some good plot twists in the different stories, as far as like, you know, when I said betrayal and redemption, like there's some really good twists.
This is better than it has any right being.
There you go. And it's not just because it's about cute cats. It was just a good visual novel. It's very fun and refreshing.
Very absurdist.
Well, it's $9. What do you two think?
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes.
Absolutely. Buy it.
I just want to share my shock and awe that Bri liked the cat game.
Oh yeah, no, total shocker. Shocker.
Who would have thought in a million years?
Crazy. All right, we got one final game to talk about tonight called Steampunch, developed and published by AFIL Games, released March 7th on Xbox One, Series X and S, Switch, PS4, PS5, and PC for $4.99 each. Xbox bundle for $7.99, Xbox and Windows bundle for $10.49. Get ready for the electrifying journey of Steampunch, a casual and challenging 2D platformer. Overcome enemies, traps, and obstacles to reach the elevator that takes you to the next level. Jacob, what's Steampunch?
So Steampunch is, I mean, it's pretty much as the description described. It's a platformer where you're trying to get from point A to point B, and you run more so into enemies that I'd say traps, to be honest. But yeah, your solution of how to get through everything is just punching everything in sight. And I was honestly expecting like a pretty subpar game with this, but I was having a lot of fun with it. Like the art is cute, the music was good. Like this was a surprisingly fun title. Like, and it just it never felt overwhelming as I was going through all the levels. There's over 20 levels in the game. I mean, they are.
I think there's 30 in the game.
Well, I think the achievements only go up to 20 so far. I think
that wouldn't shock me, but
but
store page says 30. So
okay. But yeah, it's just you move from the level, like you move through the level, you punch whatever enemy is in your way, or you have to like dodge them. And there's also these little animal prisoners that you have to rescue on each level. And if you rescue it, great. If you don't, you're just going to miss out on some achievements. It's not like they give you strength or anything like that. You just, sleep better at night knowing that you freed the little digital animals.
Did you sleep better at night?
Oh, I sleep like a baby. I mean, I'm a psycho.
You are a baby.
Well, yeah, just because I poop myself while I sleep.
I also played this game, and I gotta say, I was like surprisingly I had a really good time with it, and specifically the movement in it was like quite precision. Like the jumping action was like where it needed to be, the punching action where it needed to be. There was no like stutters, no question about where you were gonna go. The inputs were great. You can punch midair, which is super fun. And you can jump on the enemies as well, so you could get some good combos as you fly through the levels. Like, it was really fun.
Combos, geez. I wasn't as talented, but,
Shocker. Another shocker tonight. Just tons of shocking revelations.
But yeah, like, I had a lot of fun with this one. I was surprised. So, don't sleep on this one. It's worth it.
All right, well, let's talk price. It's $5 for the game, $8 for the Xbox bundle, $11 for the triple stack. Because friggin' triple stacks. What do you think?
Either way, get it. If you care about achievements, then get the triple stack. Otherwise, just buy one of the $5 ones, whichever thing you do.
It is worth the $5 to get a version of it. And if you like achievements, it's a pretty easy completion. So,
yeah.
All right. Oh, man. All right, we're done. Finished. Show's over. We did it. We did it.
Boom, shaka laka laka laka.
Big thanks to Mike Daw coming on, chatting with us about 3D Don't Die, Mr. Robot. Game is available now on all platforms for $10. Soundtrack is on Bandcamp. You could pick it up for $4 or $5, whatever it is, when you decide to pick it up. Good shit. We're going to end the show with a song from the game. Anything else? Or are we finished?
Go play Suikoden. It's the best.
Are those final words, or?
I just wanted to say it one more time. I'm still playing it right now. It's like the first time I've actually been playing a game during the show. And I can't put it down. Go play it.
Not gonna lie,
me flubbing the high scores for 3D Don't Die, Mr. Robot. That's gonna haunt me for the rest of my life. It really will.
300,000.
Yeah, I know. And then I realized, wait a second. I think I'm confusing that with a different dodge 'em up. Oh no.
Mike's sitting there you fucking liar. You didn't play this for 300,000 points.
Probably. I know. And now I'm just going to be
son of a bitch.
I know. See.
Hey, dude, Judas.
Now I won't go to sleep. Now, this is going to cause me to not be able to go to sleep bed well. I don't fucking know, man.
Good. You deserve it.
Damn straight.
Does anyone have any final words to end the show?
Wait, wasn't that already our final words?
No, I asked for if anyone had anything else to talk about. And then we...
No!
You ungrateful bitch!
That's you, Jacob.
Kinky.
You know what else is you?
You big old dumb idiot!
You know what I am?
I'm a bad bitch from hell!
I was expecting the thank you, drug addicts one.
Good job, drug addicts.
Yeah, there we go.